Welcome to Beyond Factline. Dive into the fascinating world of history, global events, and intriguing past incidents. From ancient civilizations to world-changing events, we cover it all. Today, we're unraveling the complexities of the Vietnam War, a conflict that reshaped a nation and influenced global politics. Let's explore this critical chapter in history. The Vietnam War, lasting from 1955 to 1975, was more than just a conflict between North and South Vietnam. It was a battleground for ideologies. The North, backed by communist allies like the Soviet Union and China, sought to unify Vietnam under a communist regime. In contrast, the South, supported by the United States and other anti-communist nations, aimed to maintain its independence. The roots of this conflict trace back to the colonial history of Vietnam, where French imperialism laid the groundwork for nationalism and resistance. As tensions escalated in the early 1960s, the U.S. increasingly committed troops to the region, driven by the fear of the domino effect. The belief that if one country fell to communism, neighboring countries would follow. The Gulf of Tonkin Incident in 1964, where U.S. ships were allegedly attacked by North Vietnamese forces, marked a turning point. It prompted Congress to pass the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, granting President Lyndon B the authority to escalate military involvement without a formal declaration of war. This led to a significant increase in U.S. troop presence in Vietnam. Life for soldiers in Vietnam was challenging and often brutal. The jungle terrain and guerrilla warfare tactics used by the Viet Cong made traditional combat tactics ineffective. American soldiers faced not only physical dangers, but also psychological stress, leading to issues like PTSD long after their return home. Meanwhile, back in the U.S., the war sparked widespread protests and anti-war movements. Many Americans questioned the morality and purpose of the conflict, leading to a deep societal divide. By 1968, the Vietnam War was at a crucial juncture. The Tet Offensive, launched by North Vietnamese forces during the Vietnamese New Year, caught U.S. and South Vietnamese troops off guard. Although militarily it was a failure for the North, it changed public perception in the United States. The graphic images and reports coming back home led to increased opposition to the war, culminating in significant protests across the nation. As the war dragged on, it became increasingly clear that a military victory was elusive. The U.S. began to withdraw troops under the policy of Vietnamization.